Hello everybody and welcome back to Team Vikavolt's YouTube channel. Lo and behold, I said that things were super stale in the Pokemon TCG right now in my last video, which you should totally check out if you're in for a little bit of a chit chat. And then as soon as I uploaded it, I found this super awesome winning list from Japan for Mega Manectric EX, which will be releasing, I believe in September is when the Mega Evolution set will be releasing here in the West. And I just wanted to share it with everybody. I got another hot list video, so if you want to see more cool lists, then, you know, do all the YouTubey things. Be sure to check those links in the description below as well for more awesome content, and leave a like and a comment if that's really what you want to do. I like to chit chat in the comments and talk about the deck lists and talk shop a little bit, so you're more than welcome to shoot me a little message down there, or you know, a positive comment or constructive criticism or what have you. Anyway, we're talking about Mega Manectric. If I would have, you know, talked to the, like, I don't know, me 9 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that, and said, hey, guess what? One day you're going to be talking about Mega Manectric EX again, but it's going to be a lowercase EX instead of a capital EX. I would have been like, wait, what? Who are you? What do you do? Where are you? What are you doing here? I mean, what is this? And then I would fade into oblivion because there would be a time paradox. Anyway, let's talk about Mega Manectric EX before I get any more weird. Okay, so we don't have any English translations for Mega Manectric EX, which is why we have a screenshot from the wonderful, amazing, awesome PokeBeach.com. If you're not familiar with that site, you should totally check that pretty often for Pokemon news. So we have Mega Manectric EX. It's coming out yet again in the Mega Evolution set come September. It is a Stage 1 evolving from Electrike, has 330 HP, has free retreat, and it has 2 attacks. The first attack for 2 lightning energy, flash ray does 120 damage, and then during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon can't get hurt from basic Pokemon, which is really useful against something like Raging Bolt EX, which is able to knock out Megas and take 3 prizes pretty easily, and so that is a huge plus in that matchup at least. And then its second attack for 3 lightning energy, Riot Blaster, does 200 damage. You may discard all energy attached to this Pokemon, and if you do, it does another 130, so that's 330 damage. You're knocking out a whole lot of things in the standard format, including another Mega Manectric EX if you have to, but you are double weak to fighting. That may be a concern because Mega Lucario EX is looking pretty strong with all of the fighting support that will also be included in the Mega Evolution set, which does again drop in September. Mega Manectric EX is of course going to be your main attacker, or at least one of your main attackers in this list that I'm going to be sharing with you, again from Japan. It is a winning list, it is a first place list, but first we're going to talk about some of the other attackers and support Pokemon very briefly that are going to be included in said list. And here they are. Thankfully they have English translations. The first off is Electric, which is another Stage 1 lightning type Pokemon with the ability Dynamotor. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic lightning energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. This is obviously to accelerate lightning energy from the discard pile to your benched attackers. Miraidon EX is going to be super crucial for helping you to get set up in the beginning of pretty much every game you play, but it also serves as a pretty good secondary attacker if need be. 220 HP, retreat cost of 1, which is really not too shabby, and of course the super strong ability Tandem Unit. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 basic lightning Pokemon and put them onto your bench and then shuffle your deck, so you will be able to search out like a Tynamo, which evolves into Electric, and maybe an Iron Hands EX, which we all know and love, and I will talk about here in a second if you happen to not be familiar with Iron Hands EX, as well as your Electrike, which will evolve up into your Mega Manectric EXs. Iron Hands EX, another basic, really strong basic attacking option with 230 HP. It is a future Pokemon. You have Arm Press for 3 lightning energy, doing 160 damage, which really is actually kind of relevant here and there, depending on the matchup. And Amp You Very Much does 120 damage for a lightning and 3 other colorless energy. And if your opponent is knocked out by Amp You Very Much, you get to take an additional prize card. This is especially helpful in the Gardevoir matchup. Gardevoir will be very popular in the future. Being able to take out those pesky, like, lower stage Pokemon for 2 prizes is a really huge advantage in the early game prize race, especially since we're moving to a 3-prizer format. So really offsets the prize trade there with Amp You Very Much in the early game. And so we have 3 really strong supporting Pokemon right off the bat for Mega Manectric EX. In addition to them, however, we do also have 4 other basic Pokemon EX that are there for various support. Mew EX is here with the Restart ability, which states that once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand, and then you have a really strong attacking option in Genome Hacking for 3 colorless energy. You get to choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. So that is, of course, a very situational attack, but also a very beneficial attack, and it also has free retreat, which is great. Pheasantipity EX is there for the Flip the Script ability. Once during your turn, if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you get to draw 3 cards. Hugely important ability in the competitive TCG right now, and will remain a hugely important ability moving forward. Being able to draw 3 cards going into your turn after suffering a knockout is huge, because you haven't even played any items or supporters before using the ability. So it's drawing 3 in that under those circumstances is hugely powerful and cannot be overstated. Squawkabilly EX is there basically just for your first turn of the game, and then it kind of works as a little bit of a bait option for your opponent to want to take an easy 2 prizes, but at the same time it puts a little bit of weird pressure on them, because they're going to have to choose whether they want to take some easy prizes on the Squawkabilly EX in the early game, or are they going to target down some of your other more important Pokemon before they can get set up and rolling. It's a little bit of a mind game with Squawkabilly EX, but it's only here, like I said, for the first turn. For your first turn, once during your first turn, you may discard your hand and then draw 6 cards. So again, huge explosive draw support, in addition to any item or supporter card that you might play going second. So Squawkabilly EX. I think maybe you might be able to cut it if you really have to, but it is very aggressive draw support with that Squawkabilly EX. And then you have Latias EX, which just gives basic Pokemon free retreat, so your Pheasantipity can get out of the active for free. Most importantly, your Iron Hands EX can get out of the active spot for free with the Skyliner ability on Latias EX. And even Latias EX is able to get out of the active spot for free with its own Skyliner ability. And that's really all the support. So here's the deck list. This is coming from the Japanese Twitter user and champion at DV Hogator. I don't know. That's just what their screen name is. And this is the list. We have 2 Miraidon EX, 2 Iron Hands EX, a 3/3 line of Electric, I should say, and Mega Manectric EX, a 3/3 line of Tynamo and Electric. For the Dynamotor ability, 1 Mew EX, 1 Squawkabilly, 1 Latias EX, 1 Pheasantipity EX, and then 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Nest Ball, 4 Electric Generator to be able to look at the top, I believe it's 5 cards of your deck, and attach up to 2 basic lightning energy from those 5 cards to your bench Pokemon any way you like. You have 1 copy of Super Rod, which allows you to shuffle from your discard pile back into your deck any combination of Pokemon or basic energy, up to 3 of them. 1 copy of Prime Catcher to be able to both switch out of the active and gust up one of your opponent's bench Pokemon for an easy or key knockout. 1 copy of Air Balloon, which is that big red balloon full art card right there. It is a tool card that lowers the retreat cost of the Pokemon it is attached to by 2. So that's really useful for anything you need to get out of the active spot. So it's just additional retreat. And you have 4 copies of Professor's Research. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards. 4 copies of Boss's Orders, which is just nuts to me. You're just targeting down so many things. This thing is so aggressive. And then 3 copies of Iono, and let's see, we're looking at 5, 10, 14 lightning energy. Those 3, if you'll follow my cursor, these like little cards down here, not too sure what they are. It might be some kind of prize pack or something like that. These are not part of the list. These are just, I believe, like tournament winnings or something like that for this tournament that this list won. So you're really just paying attention to the actual Pokemon cards, not this stuff that's like laying on top of this like orange booster pack wrapping or whatever this is. And so there it is. There's the list. I'll just kind of leave it on the screen while I close things out. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you made it to the end of the video, you're an awesome person. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next upload. I do believe I found some more lists that are in the Mega Evolution era that we are quickly heading into. And so I'm very eager to share all of those here on the channel. So stay tuned, stay subbed, get subbed if you're not subbed. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.